the Federal Trade Court invalidating Donald Trump's tariffs against the world has been met with rejoicing on Wall Street, just showing what a loser Donald Trump is. The futures were soaring following Donald Trump losing in court. Just think about that. When everybody just recognizes what a loser that you are. But then the other thing, recognizing what a loser that he is, the Treasury yields, the 10, 20, and 30-year yields, they were still rising, recognizing that Donald Trump is going to do some crazy stuff causing instability to the markets. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did following this order from the court, as Donald Trump freaked out. So after this Federal Trade Court invalidated Donald Trump's tariffs, what does he do? He posts the following: breaking. What could be breaking, Donald? In a major win in our powerful lawsuit against the Pulitzer Prize Board regarding the illegal and defamatory award of their once highly respected prize to fake malicious stories on the Russia hoax by the failing New York Times and Washington Compost, blah, wah, wah, wah. This is literally a madman maniac right now. Also, despite the fact that these tariffs being invalidated is a very, very good thing, the Trump regime filed an immediate appeal. You have Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's top advisor, says, this guy's not a lawyer, the judicial coup is out of control. He says, breaking. Federal Trade Court has blocked the tariffs. It's out of control. Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, goes, it's now Marxist to understand that the Constitution only authorizes Congress to impose tariffs. And as our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, there's a very simple solution for this right now, right? The MAGA Republicans, they control the executive branch and they control both branches of Congress, the House and the Senate. So all the Republicans have to do now is pretty simple. Pass all the Trump tariffs in Congress. They haven't said much in opposition to them, so passing them should be no problem. Get it to the floor and see where everybody stands on it. Think about it as a MAGA loyalty test. But you see, the MAGA Republican members of Congress and the Senate and the House, they ain't gonna do that. Why? Because like Donald Trump, they a taco. They always chicken out. I think that's one of the aspects of this whole MAGA movement that I kind of despise the most, is that at their core, these are weak and pathetic individuals. They are cowards. I'd almost have a little more respect for them if they just went, I'm not sure if I would, but if they went all in and they didn't always cave, if they weren't just trying to overcompensate for what just pathetic, vile people they are with the fake bravado, but taco. Trump always chickens out. And hat tip to the CNBC reporter who asked Donald Trump the perfect question. No, Donald Trump says, it's the perfect phone call. No, this was the perfect question where the CNBC reporter asked Donald Trump, what's your response to the fact that Wall Street's calling you taco, that Trump always chickens out? He's like, what'd you call me? I like Benji Sarlin's analysis of what the Federal Trade Court did and said, so Trump learned about the taco trade. He learned that people call them taco, and boom, the federal court system intervenes within hours to contain the damage. Our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, goes, Trump is not just a taco on tariffs. He's a taco supreme. When it comes to Putin, that's for sure. Taco supreme. But here is the question. I played this yesterday. I'm only going to play this small bit where Donald Trump was asked by the CNBC reporter, what do you make of people calling you a chicken, Donald? Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out?
You know, I've gone through a lot of t-shirts in my day. Some that fit like a trash bag, others that felt like sandpaper. But then I found True Classic and everything changed. These clothes just get it. The fit, spot on, snug in all the right places with a little room where you need it. So you don't feel like you're being shrink wrapped or swimming in fabric. And they didn't just stop at t-shirts. I'm talking hoodies, jeans, activewear, the whole wardrobe lineup, all dialed in with the same crazy good fit and feel. After I got my first True Classic tee, I ended up getting just about everything from them. And the price? Unreal. You're not paying those ridiculous designer markups. You're getting premium without the pretentious. What I also love about this brand is that it isn't just about clothes. It's about purpose. They give back to communities. They've got amazing customer service. And honestly, even their ads crack me up. You could tell that they care about every little detail. So skip the cheap throwaways and forget the overpriced stuff. If you want to level up your style, head to trueclassic.com/Meidas or find them at Target or Costco. That's trueclassic.com/Meidas, Meidas. Trust me, you'll be hooked.
We're getting the statement right now from Attorney General Letitia James in response to this order. She was one of the parties to this lawsuit. New York Attorney General Letitia James today released the following statement after the United States Courts of International Trade ruled that the Trump regime's tariffs issued under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, are invalid and cannot be implemented. The court ruled in favor of Attorney General James and a coalition of 11 other attorney generals who sued the Trump administration in April for violating the law by imposing worldwide tariffs under the IEEPA. Quote, the law is clear. No president has the power to single-handedly raise taxes whenever they like. These tariffs are a massive tax hike on the working families and American businesses that would have led to more inflation, economic damage to businesses of all sizes, and job losses across the country if allowed to continue. This decision is a major victory for our efforts to uphold the law and protect New Yorkers and the rest of the country from illegal policies that threaten American jobs and the economy. Just can we look at Carl Quintanilla's post here? U.S. stocks versus the rest of the world so far this year. It's from Yardini Research. For our audio listeners, let's just say the U.S. stock market is almost in dead last. You have the stock markets of Spain, Germany, Mexico, emerging markets of Latin America, Brazil, Sweden, Europe, Switzerland, France, United Kingdom, Korea, China, all countries in the world of the next, or Hong Kong, Canada, a bunch of other emerging markets. And then on the bottom, you have the United States stock market. You know, under former President Biden, we were first. So if you think about like a sports competition, you usually want to come in first, not last, right? But for Donald Trump, being in last is winning and losing is being in first. That's utterly pathetic because Trump hires losers. You got Dan Bongino, loser. Here's what Dan Bongino's big post was last night, right? So last night, remember, we get the order from the Federal Trade, the International Trade Court. And here's what Dan Bongino was talking about. As we read and process reports of a new COVID strain emerging, I want you to know that we are actively investigating in multiple field offices the cover-up of the origin of the COVID virus, along with associated matters requiring our attention. You deserve the answers. FBI Dan Bongino is on the case. I don't know. Bongino, shouldn't you be focused on other things? Like, I mean, maybe it's a big deal that the FBI, DOJ task force regarding blocking Russian billionaires from hiding their cash Remember when that was disbanded, that task force? I don't know. Maybe there's some issues there. The dismantling of the task force klepto capture anti-corruption initiative set up in 2022 to seize the assets of Russian oligarchs. Now we have all this dirty money, or as I like to call it, Trump money, dirty money, Trump money, dirty money, Trump money, coming into the US. Maybe that should be your focus. Or maybe what we should focus on is how we can help Americans save lives if there's this new, because of this new strain of COVID, versus you doing whatever the hell you're doing, Bongino, and the FDA announcing that they're going to propose a rule to basically block healthy individuals under 65 from getting COVID boosters. Hey, call me old fashioned, I guess, but that's where I think our priorities should be on. But you tell me what you think right there. Oh, talking about Trump being a loser. This from the Washington Post. So Trump's Air Force One deal with Qatar is not final, despite U.S. claims that it is. The delay reflects lingering concerns about legal liabilities stemming from a White House maneuver to transform what was originally a sale between two countries into a gift. Trump initially said it was Qatar that reached out to him and blah, 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 blah. But one of the other things that we learned as well is that this was a airplane that Qatar wanted to unload because it was costing them all this money in maintenance. They didn't even want this jet. They tried to get other countries to take this. But idiot Donald Trump, the biggest idiot around, he's the one who's like, me want jet. Qatari jet, me want Qatari jet, even though everybody else was like, yeah, no, we don't want this. This jet's probably dangerous. It has security, all these other countries, dangerous, security concerns. Even other countries that are like known for taking bribes, they're like, nah, we don't want that. But Trump was like, me want. That's why this guy is a moron. And by the way, when these tariffs were blocked by the International Trade Court, Donald Trump, rather than appeal it, just be like, okay, fine, I tried. But no, I'm telling you, he's intent on destroying America. I've said it before. I don't want to mince words. He hates America. He hates the success of others. He just wants to enrich himself. He views this, in my opinion, as 4 years, destroy the country, enrich himself. So orders that help the country, and we see in the objective data, he then tries to screw up. Taco. Although the one thing I don't like about the taco thing is my dog's name is Taco. My other dog's name is Chiquito. I have Taquito and Chiquito. So when we call him Taco, it's just like, even though we're mocking him, I don't want to mock my little cute Maltese. Trump, always chickens out. The world is laughing at that vile trash. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.